noticed in the final season of Parks and Rec, a lot of it revolves around these drones that are collecting way too much personal information in Pawnee in 2017. That is not the future because that is also happening in Los Angeles County in 2015 right now. So there's a company called AdNear, a global marketing company that specializes in collecting location data from people for companies to create super targeted local ads. And so since February 4th, according to the company blog post, they've been flying modified versions of the DJI Phantom 2 drone over the San Fernando Valley. Since then, collecting information off of people's cell phones, location. And the worst part is, this isn't entirely illegal. Mm-hmm. It's a little messed up.
FAA stuff is still pretty new with drones, and as we all have come to learn, it takes a long time for regulations and bills to get passed and stuff like this.
Yeah.
So, but all I see when I think of that little guy that's flying up there is I just see a giant drone going, business! What? Business! I'm collecting your information.
Yeah.
Or
that, like you're saying earlier, the image of Ron Swanson with the destroyed drone.
Like, this
it came from my son.
About my son.
Yeah. No, and like I'd like to take the flip side of this because they kind of acknowledge it in Parks and Rec as well. And they make a joke of like, what? These drones are collecting information and giving me exactly what I want and what I need?
No.
Like, how dare they?
Yeah, but you'll agree that is the one thing that stupid insubordinate town stood with Leslie with.
Yeah.
We're with you this time.
Yeah.
That's not cool.
No.
People's data.
Yeah, and like the thing is with people in the marketing world, a lot of them are older that have like established firms or companies.
Right.
And then they're looking
works.
they're looking for the next new thing, like the hip guy that's coming in like, hey, we can collect this data, you can use it in this XYZ way.
Right.
And they don't see the ramifications of that affecting people.
That tends to be what happens, but that's also how laws and regulations are made.
Exactly.
It's because people innovate, you find new things, and then supposedly legislation comes in order to make sure that it doesn't get carried away.
Does everything have to be reactive, though, and then incredibly late, as it has been?
Well, incredibly late, sure, yes.
No.
But reactive, I say, like, how do you predict?
Right.
How do you predict that someone's going to go out with a drone and collect unique IDs for phones?
Maybe not necessarily predict, but I would say move a little bit faster.
Yeah, that could happen.
That's fair, but yeah.
Like, and it's fair too that they won't know what the repercussions are going to be. Like, how does this affect someone in their personal data, or is it harmless data?
I don't care. It's my data.
Yeah.
Yes, it is your data. You bought the phone, and
You're
you had a
using a
unique
service.
Well, this
ID.
also goes to the argument of, do you own your own phone, or are you a licensee of your phone? And
Right.
does the company own it? I mean, you do sign away a lot of things when you agree to own a phone. I don't think this is part of it, but it's also not illegal.
Right.
And also our digital lives and our real lives are merging more and more and more and more together.
Yep.
So I know where you're coming from, and trust me, I wish that stuff like this would happen faster too. But I think this is just a classic example of someone came up with a good idea and is taking advantage of it while the iron's hot. And by the time more companies try to take advantage of it, it may become too late for them to do so because we're going to figure out how to deal with it.
It always just seems like the idea is to get at people's data however you can. We just talked about the Lenovo story.
That's the idea with any marketing, though, is you're looking for where people are clicking, what are they buying in the grocery store. Like, that's valuable tool for a marketer.
Sure.
So that they can deliver something that they
But
think you
50
want.
It seems like it's being taken in very creepy and not very, upfront ways.
You're still about 30 years too early to get into robophobia. Okay? you've got a little bit more
I
while
don't
to go.
want robots and humans getting married.
What? How dare you? We're in love.
I bought him. He's mine.
This is a plot on Futurama.
Yeah.
So just so you know.
Yeah.
But back on track, it is something that we have to worry about. We talk about this kind of thing frequently, which is there's no law forbidding it yet because technology moves so much faster than legislation.
Yeah.
And it's going to continue to be a problem. The only solutions for this, in the short term are don't take your phone with you in public. People aren't going to do that.
No. Right.
That's really unreasonable.
Right. And at some point, you do have to acknowledge it's like, am I going to be marketed to whether I'm bringing my phone out or not?
Yeah.
Am I going to be targeted, or is the people around me going to be targeted? Is me not having my phone and contributing that data to the
Interesting.
network, is that going to really change how I'm being targeted or marketed to? Because Xander's right next to me, and we share a lot of the same stuff, and his information is probably getting picked up.
Right.
And it's relative.
Not only that, but if you leave your phone at home, you're still susceptible to billboards or advertisements on a bus or
Interesting.
whatever.
So I
You're
guess
constantly being marketed to.
That's an interesting question to pose to the audience, which is, is it just something to be expected when you're in a public place to be marketed to have your data, your habits analyzed, or should you expect for that not to happen? Well, let us know what your take on that is below in the comments, and please be sure to subscribe.